All right, strap in, because today we're not just diving deep. We're plunging headfirst into a reality that, frankly, should just plain infuriate you. We're ripping the facade off the publishing industry, exposing the truly abysmal economics and the sheer, unadulterated pain authors are facing.
Yeah, it's rough out there.
Forget the glitz, forget the bestseller dreams you see plastered everywhere. Our mission today, lay bare the shocking data. Understand why this system is so fundamentally broken.
And it is broken.
And then, because we can't just leave you stewing in righteous anger, we're going to explore a revolutionary idea. Something that promises to try and flip this entire dumpster fire on its head.
And let me tell you, the source material for this deep dive, it does not pull any punches. Not at all.
No kidding.
It uses language that, well, it perfectly mirrors the frustration, the raw anger felt by those trapped in this system.
Right.
This isn't some, dry academic overview. It's a no-holds-barred expose designed to make you feel the brutal truth of what's happening in the world of books right now.
Okay, so let's unpack this. You might think getting a book written, edited, out there, that's the biggest hurdle. And sure, that's tough. No doubt.
It's incredibly hard work.
But try getting it noticed in this absolute ocean of noise the numbers we're about to share. They will straight up piss you off.
Yeah, they really will.
Because they show just how overwhelmingly stacked the deck is against anyone trying to share their story.
It's an overwhelming oversupply. That's putting it mildly. And it's accelerating at an insane pace.
How insane?
Get this. Over just the past 5 years, we've seen an explosive, eye-watering, 264% increase in self-published titles alone.
264%. Wow.
Globally, we're now talking 300 million self-published books sold annually. 300 million. But here's the kicker.
There's always a kicker.
The vast, vast majority of these titles, they're buried in obscurity the moment they hit the digital shelves.
So the volume is just crushing everything.
Exactly. Look at the growth rates. They just scream imbalance. The global self-publishing market, skyrocketing, 17% annually. Traditional publishing, practically stagnant, crawling at a mere 1%. It's a deluge, a flood.
So you've got this flood of books, millions of them. You'd hope that, I don't know, even a tiny fraction would find an audience.
We'd hope.
But here's where it gets really interesting and, frankly, truly demoralizing. If you thought getting published was the goal, wait until you hear what happens next for most of these titles.
Go on.
Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing.
That's the brutal truth of the numbers. A shocking 90% of self-published books sell fewer than 100 copies.
90%. Less than 100 copies.
In their entire lifetime. Think about that for a second. You pour years of your life into crafting a story, refining it, editing it, only for it to be read by fewer people than can fit in a small coffee shop.
That's soul-crushing.
And the average self-published book, it moves just 250 copies, netting the author around a measly $1,000 in annual revenue.
$1,000 for a book.
It gets even worse. One source from Reddit lays it out with horrifying clarity. Quote, about 50% of that number sell fewer than 10.
Fewer than 10 copies.
Fewer than 10. 1 in 5 sell nothing at all.
Nothing. Zero.
Zero. And their blunt summation, quote, that's not hope, that's garbage.
Wow. Garbage.
This isn't just a tough market, it's a statistical charnel house for creative aspirations.
So if you're out there dreaming of writing as a profession, hoping to connect with readers, consider what this means.
Yeah.
It's not just hard. It's a statistical nightmare designed to make you fail. It's like throwing a single grain of sand into a desert and desperately hoping someone finds your specific grain.
That's a good analogy. The sheer volume fundamentally crushes discoverability for almost everyone.
So when you look at those numbers, it boils down to one simple, infuriating truth. Authors are getting royally screwed, plain and simple.
Absolutely.
This isn't just a tough market. Author income in this industry, it's a goddamn disaster. Let's talk about just how little money is actually flowing into the pockets of the people creating the stuff we all consume.
It truly is a grim picture, and it's getting worse for most, even you full-time self-published authors. The ones who might seem like they're doing okay.
Right, the success stories.
They're only pulling in an average of $12,800 per year from their books.
$12,000 for full-time work.
And if you count all their writing-related side gigs, maybe some freelance editing, ghostwriting, whatever.
Yeah.
That total barely creeps up to $15,000 annually.
15 grand. That's barely survival income in most places.
Exactly, for what often amounts to full-time work or more.
And when you broaden the scope, beyond just the full-time authors, the picture becomes even more glaring, almost offensively so.
Right. The median author's book income across the board is a pathetic $2,000 annually.
$2,000.
Yeah.
Median.
Their total writing-related income, if they're doing anything else to make ends meet, hovers around $5,000.
$5,000 total. That's not a living. That's a hobby that costs you your soul.
It really is. It costs immense time and emotional labor. And here's a truly messed up detail, something that points to deeper systemic issues.
Okay.
There's an infuriating racial disparity in these already abysmal numbers.
Oh, great. Of course there is.
Black full-time authors earn a median of just $2,412 from their books, compared to $10,985 for white authors.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's horrific. The struggles are definitely not equally distributed.
Not even close.
And this isn't just some slow burn of economic decline for writers. It sounds like a full-blown inferno of hardship. People are truly suffering.
They are. Creative individuals who often pour their entire lives, their souls, their deepest thoughts into their work. They're being hit particularly hard.
And it's not just here, right? It's everywhere.
The data confirms this crisis internationally. In the UK, for instance, applications for literary hardship grants, they've skyrocketed by an astonishing 400%.
400%.
Yeah. This isn't just a slight uptick, it signals a catastrophic collapse in the financial viability of being a writer over there. The median author income in the UK has plummeted. It's just £7,000 a year now.
£7,000.
As one source bluntly states, writers are freaking out. They're not just struggling. They're facing existential threats to their careers, their livelihoods.
So you might be asking yourself, listening to this, why should you care? Beyond feeling, a general sense of injustice.
Right. Why does it matter to the average person?
Because this isn't some abstract economic problem or a minor inconvenience for some niche group. This is the stark reality for creative individuals who enrich our lives, who challenge our perspectives, provide escape, insight.
They dedicate decades often to mastering their craft.
Exactly. Only to be met with poverty and a system that seems fundamentally rigged against them. It's a crisis for culture itself when the creators are being starved out of existence. Now, in stark contrast to this grim reality, we're all fed this fairy tale.
Oh yeah, the big one.
It's the one about bestseller lists, breakout authors, massive life-changing success, every bookstore, every news article, social media. It reinforces this lie. But that's a fucking lie. The truth is far, far more brutal. And it highlights just how distorted our perception of success in publishing really is.
It's a mirage, an illusion, really, designed to keep people chasing an impossible dream. Let's look at traditional frontlist books.
Okay, the ones from the big publishers.
Yeah, brand new titles released by major established publishers each year. Even these books tell a brutal story. 66% of them
2/3.
sold fewer than 1,000 copies in their first year.
Less than 1,000, even from the big guys.
And less than 2% ever hit a significant number like, say, 50,000 copies.
2%.
The New York Times bestseller list, it is exactly what you call it, a mirage of the 100,000 new hardcover titles released annually. Fewer than 0.5%, less than 0.5% ever crack that list.
Less than 0.5% make the list we all hear about constantly.
And even then, getting on the list might mean selling only 4,000 to 8,000 copies per week.
Which sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme.
Exactly. Only a truly tiny handful, a fraction of a fraction, ever reach 100,000 copies in a year. The numbers. They're designed to discourage any rational person.
What's fascinating here, though, and deeply deceptive, is that we all hear about the Harry Potters of the world.
The outliers, the mega hits.
Those big fackers that sell tens, hundreds of millions of copies. We hear those stories, and they become the benchmark, the carrot on the stick. But they're not the norm. They're the anomaly. They're the bait that keeps everyone else pouring their lives into a system that will inevitably crush them.
Precisely. The Harry Potter series alone, over 600 million copies sold worldwide.
Insane.
J.K. Rowling's personal sales are similarly astronomical, somewhere between 600 and 650 million. Our source describes these massive successes as scoundrels.
Scoundrels. Interesting word choice.
Yeah, not because of the authors themselves, but because they are anomalies, electric storms, and a desert of silence.
Electric storms in a desert of silence. That's evocative.
It is. They are so far removed from the average author's experience that using them as a standard for success, it's not just misleading, it's destructive.
Right. They obscure the reality.
They're outliers that hide the truly dire reality for pretty much everyone else.
So this isn't just about the mechanics of selling books or the challenge of getting noticed. It's about the entire narrative, the whole story of making it in any creative field.
Yeah.
It's utterly skewed by a few extreme outliers, leaving the vast majority in perpetual despair, struggling to make ends meet. It sets an impossible, demoralizing bar.
Definitely.
It convinces countless talented people they're failures simply because they're not the one in a billion phenomenon.
Yeah, it's a toxic setup.
So let's get to the bottom line. Stripped of all pretense. It's simple, it's direct, and it's totally fucked.
Yeah, that sums it up.
This isn't just a tough market. It's a system actively working against the very creators it pretends to serve.
The source material spells it out. Most titles flop. Most authors beg. The numbers are fecked.
The numbers are fact. End quote.
That's the unvarnished reality. It's not about talent or hard work anymore, not primarily. It's about being swallowed whole by an industry that profits from volume, from the desperate hope of author.
Or rather than true artistic merit or a widespread reader connection.
Exactly.
But look, this deep dive isn't just about pointing out how royally screwed the system is, because honestly, we could rant about that all day.
Yeah.
And it would just leave you angry and frustrated.
Which is fair, but maybe not productive.
Right. So the good news, or at least the promising news, is that there are people out there who refuse to accept this. Who refuse to accept this as the status quo.
People trying to change things.
There are people trying to fix this shit show. So let's talk about how some brave souls are attempting to rewrite the rules.
Okay, let's get into that.
So if the publishing industry, as we know it, is indeed a dumpster fire, then a company called Book Strut. They claim to be stepping in.
Yeah.
Not just with a fire extinguisher, right? But with a whole new design for the building.
Yeah, that's the idea.
What's their angle? How do they even begin to tackle something so entrenched, so broken?
Well, Book Strut's approach is disruptive precisely because it targets the core problem we've been talking about, discoverability.
The needle in the haystack problem.
Which, as we've established, is crippling authors. Their philosophy is basically less noise, more focus.
Less noise, more focus. Okay.
Instead of burying books in that digital landfill of millions of other titles, their system, it re-engineers how readers find what they truly want.
How?
It does this by moving beyond just broad genre tags or keywords, things that are easily gamed, you know?
Right, stuff anyone can slap on.
So it's not just about better algorithms. It's a fundamental shift in how books are categorized and, more importantly, matched to a reader's specific nuanced interests.
Matched. How specifically?
The innovation lies in what they call an author's 3 ranked ideas plus a sharp book description.
3 ranked ideas.
Yeah. So instead of just saying your book is a thriller, you define it by a hierarchy of specific concepts and themes. For instance, a reader isn't just searching for psychological suspense.
They want something more granular.
Exactly. They can specify psychological suspense, unreliable narrators, abandoned cults.
Right.
Very specific.
Yeah.
If your book delivers precisely on those unique niche interests, you get surfaced. You're not buried by the generic algorithms. You're not buried by the massive ad budgets that only favor the mega publishers with unlimited marketing spend.
So it bypasses the money game, potentially.
That's the aim. It's a direct challenge to the power structures that currently determine visibility.
So it's a model that's inherently designed, or at least intended, to give authors a fighting chance, a chance at actually being seen by the right readers.
Exactly. The right readers for that specific book.
Not just being one more speck in an endless stream. This means, potentially, no more zeros, no more begging for visibility, and a chance for the sales curve to be something other than, a brief spike followed by a precipitous crater.
If your book consistently matches reader interest, it can continue to be discovered, creating a more stable, enduring sales curve.
And this fundamentally leads to, or could lead to, a necessary shift in author economics, right?
That's the hope.
Because if more books are genuinely discoverable by the readers who want them, then more authors can escape that soul-crushing 500-year trap.
Absolutely, that's the entire point.
So this isn't just a new platform. It's framed as a total rewire, a direct, defiant challenge to the gatekeepers who've controlled access and profits for too long.
Yes.